we're driving a 2005 BMW M3 Competition. I'm here with the owner, Steven.
Hello.
And he's gonna walk me through this car. He's done a lot to it. It's track prepped, track ready. We have an SMG transmission, a 6-speed automated, was it automated manual?
It's the same exact transmission as the manual, just with a bunch of hydraulics and computer.
Okay, cool. We're gonna see how far this tech has come. Because this week I'm testing a manual M2, which dimensionally is kind of similar to this car, weighs about 500 pounds more, but we won't talk about that because we're talking about the E46 today.
It's a spiritual successor.
It's a spiritual successor, yes. So, been really excited to drive this. You've done a lot to it. It's got a Valvetronic exhaust, sounds amazing. Apex wheels, 18 by 9.5, square setup, 265, 35. Michelin Pilot Sport 4S's.
Yep.
Yes, nice. And you've been driving on them. I can see that.
Yeah, they've been through quite a few track days.
Cool.
They're still holding up.
Good. Yeah, I see your numbers on the side.
Yeah.
There you go. So we've got all the details on this car in the comments, but just real quick, walk me through what you've done to this, your ownership story quickly.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So this is like a COVID purchase. I wasn't really trying to buy one of these per se, but it came up. I had one before, the manual. I missed it super bad. I had an E92 M3 at the time, and I wanted to go back to this. I got a killer deal on it, so I've had it for a little under 3 years at this point. And it was pretty rough. It had 148,000 miles, and it needed a lot of work. So I did like bearings, subframe, just all the usual maintenance stuff with this, and then just kind of wanted to do a track build. It hasn't gone as far as I thought it was going to because I actually just really enjoy driving the car on the street. So I've tried to, toe that balance. So suspension, brakes, and minor powertrain lines. That's
Sweet.
Pretty much the name of the game. So
It looks proper.
yeah, it's all handling really. That's what's special of this car.
All the racing instructors I work with at M1 Concours, they all have E46s.
I know. So many
There's
people,
something to it.
You'll never see more E46s than like if you go to a track day.
Yeah.
Like you'll never see them in a car show or in the street, but then you go to track day and there'll be like 10 of them. You're like, what? So people
That's
are
awesome.
using them these days, which is good.
Let's walk around this a little bit.
Sure.
Okay, so back in the day, the competition package was a $4,000 option, and it got you some CSL bits, faster steering ratio from the CSL, some suspension changes, a few other things maybe, but definitely didn't come with these Recaro seats. These look proper. And has the Alcantara wheel been refreshed? Because it looks super clean.
That was a lot of work to get that back. It had a really bad wrap on it when I bought the car. And he was like, oh, the Alcantara underneath is in horrible shape, but the wrap was horrible. So I'm like, I'm just going to risk it. Pulled the wrap off and then scrubbed it for like 2 hours, and it actually came somewhat back.
So you can rejuvenate Alcantara.
You can, yeah. And if you just clean it like once every 2 months, it will last forever. But people just don't, and then they go to McDonald's to get hamburgers and things. Yeah.
I love to hear that because I really want to get an Alcantara wheel on my Type R, and everyone's like, don't do it, it'll look like, a sweaty mess.
It's fine, and I don't usually wear gloves when I go to the track either. I get nice sweaty hands, and I just clean it, it's fine.
But do you wear gloves when you go to McDonald's?
I haven't been in this car. Well, actually, usually I don't eat in this car. I'll take it home at least.
It's super clean.
I try.
Yeah,
I try my best.
This is great, man. And let's do some boring things. Let's see what trunk space looks like.
Yeah, why not?
Usually I don't do this with personal cars, or is it just press it in?
No, it's like
right there. It's a button.
There you
Cool.
go. Folding your seats,
Yep.
so you can fit long things.
Great. Spare tire under there, probably.
No, it's a fix-a-flat.
Oh, okay.
But
Very modern of
no
it.
run flats.
Yeah, you got your toolkit. Are
it's
these
mostly
all
there? Actually,
mostly
in
there?
This car.
This is always fun. Yeah. Ooh, yeah. Nice. Cool.
Yeah.
That's good. Looks so good on these Apex wheels. Let's pop the hood. S54 came stock with, what was it, like 320, 330?
333 was the stock number in the US.
Okay.
Euro was 343 because of different cat placement.
Okay. Yeah, we always get slightly...
Yeah, we got the bad headers. So the cats are in the headers, which also just gives these a weird sound
Okay.
in the US. So if
All
you...
right. Is it the raspiness?
It's yes, and it just kind of... It has like a weird tone. It's
Got
not
it.
as pure. So if you change the headers for Euro headers or whatever, or even move the cats to the section 1, it fixes that.
Cool. Sweet. We won't go over everything, but you'll see some stuff that's listed in the description, like the coolant overflow tank. Got some nice camber bits there for the suspension. What coilovers do you have on this again?
So this is a ground control setup. It's basically, it has like Coney custom valve dampers, and then Eibach springs, and then ground control's own like hardware. So they make the camber plates and stuff in-house. So
cool.
Pretty simple, reliable setup.
Great. Well, excited to drive it.
Absolutely.
Let's hop in,
Let's do it.
start it up, and we'll do the thing. Cool. Still on sliders. I like that.
Yeah, so it's practical. Kind of got to configure to get in, but
These seats are very similar feeling to the new carbon buckets.
really,
Yeah.
that's good to hear.
Uh-huh.
So I won't let you suffer here trying to figure it out. So you put on the brake,
Okay.
neutral,
All right.
and then once it says N, there you go. Now you can start it.
Cool. Gotta wait a minute.
Yeah.
What is this button?
That is for M track mode. It's basically like old school NDM,
Nice.
which was only on the competition.
Gotcha. Okay.
So,
Cool. Yeah, I mean, pretty simple interior.
yep.
Alcantara on the handbrake.
Yep, that was competition stuff, along with this trim.
Okay,
That's unique
the
to the
metal.
competition package.
Neat.
Yep.
Sound system. Everything is held up really well on this interior.
Yeah.
Sometimes you see these old BMWs and everything's just kind of peeling and falling apart. This looks really nice.
The driver's seat was in horrible shape, but
Yeah.
that's
well,
no longer the case.
sunroof.
The headliner's actually held up in this car, which is really
Yeah.
impressive.
Oh, it looks great. Cool. Anything I need to know about driving the SMG?
So I guess I have it to don't use automatic mode. It's horrible.
Sure.
And then manual mode, I have it in the 4th mode, which I find is the best because the 5th and 6th don't really make it shift faster. It just penalizes the drivetrain more.
It just
and
like
then
hits you in the back of the.
and it kind of
yeah.
upsets the car.
Okay.
And then anything lower than 4 is just slow.
It's nice as a sweet spot.
Yeah.
Okay, that's
so
good.
that's kind of what I. And then there's sport mode or not sport mode. I kind of prefer not sport.
More
I'm just
linear
used to it. It's,
linear
it's
throttle.
It's not as touchy.
Okay.
So
Cool.
And then otherwise there's either traction off or NPM. So it's,
Love the steering wheel.
I know, right?
It even looks good with the paddles.
Yeah.
I miss simple, functional steering wheels without buttons on them. This
Yes.
only has one, and it's red, and it does exciting things probably.
Yeah. No cruise control though on a competition package. That's the downfall.
Okay.
So you're in D. So
D?
it
Okay.
actually defaults to manual mode.
Defaults to manual mode.
So-
Wow. Proper.
We're good to go.
Cool. Do I need to lift between shifts?
So some people, it's kind of a preference thing. I don't. I just kind of drive it like a normal paddle shift.
Oh, and then Valvetronic exhaust.
Yeah.
So-
it's just a remote, and
Okay.
you can either turn it on or off. So that's off, and it's kind of hard to hear. when
We'll leave
it's
it on.
but
We'll turn it off on the highway
yeah,
maybe.
Sounds good.
Play with it some. Nice blips.
So it has a CSL tune on the gearbox. That adds
Okay,
the blips.
cool. What have you done on this car? Most of this?
Most of this. I did not tackle the rod bearings of the subframe because I don't
Okay.
have a lift.
Gotcha.
But all the mods and stuff were done by me in
Sweet.
my garage.
Oh, that's great.
Easy to work on.
Yeah,
I'm not
that's
a
awesome.
professional.
I cheated a little bit. I watched one of your videos on your YouTube channel before driving this because I figured I was like, this is probably gonna be loud. What should
Yeah.
I set my mic gain to? It's low, so we'll hear all the good sounds.
Yeah.
But I thought in person, oh man, this is louder and more exciting than I anticipated.
Yeah.
Just play like an instrument.
Yeah, pretty much.
This is fun, man.
It's rowdy.
All right, we're gonna do windows up.
Yep.
Nice. Like to see that.
Yes.
SMG is cool. It's got personality to it.
It does. It's always, the shifts are always like a little different.
Yeah.
And some days it shifts better than others.
It's almost human in its flaws,
yeah, exactly.
you know? These days transmissions, especially the new 8-speed ZF, is so perfect that we'll avoid all the carnage here.
Right.
This is so cool, man. Love the driving position.
Yeah.
It's quiet at speed. It feels tight.
It is, yeah. And if you close this, it's like stock.
Yeah. Oh yeah, there's that induction sound you're talking about. The crazy thing about these E46s is their torque curve is so linear. You don't feel like you're going that fast when you're into it, but then you look down and you see some higher digits,
I know.
and it really sneaks up on you. They're surprisingly quick.
They are. Yeah, last track day at Gingerman, I was right behind a GT350. He could not shake me in a straight line.
Really?
It was right up there. I mean, you could probably pull on me a little bit, but they're not as, they're quicker than people think, even 20 years later.
Sure. Just cruising. The suspension's comfortable.
Yeah.
Very little wind and road noise.
Yeah, and you can turn like the rebounding compression down on the suspension to make it more, which is what I actually usually do. I just turn it down on the way, and then when you get to wherever, adjust it back.
All right, we got to put the exhaust back on.
Let's do it. Here we go.
Ooh, you can double downshift.
You can.
I like that. Going for now about 30, 40.
Yeah, it depends on how nice a one you get. Your minimum now is kind of what I'd say 20.
Okay.
For like a decent running and driving one.
It's just overflowing with cool, with personality. I'm sure it's great on track.
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah. I love the steering.
It's great, isn't it?
This is the perfect size and thickness wheel too. BMW got a little bit thick in some recent years. HP Plus brakes.
Yeah, and then Stoptech ST60 big brake kit in the front.
Cool. Yeah, they feel good. A little bit of noise, but that's how you know it's a track car. Just for fun, I want to see what it's like in auto mode. So, is it in auto mode now?
It is in auto mode now.
Okay.
So you're in D3. So it's actually a little like less aggressive.
I just put my foot down and it upshifted.
Yeah, it's not very predictable.
I can see why you like manual mode. All right, well that's enough for auto mode. Perfect.
Yeah, right. Exactly. You've seen it. Yeah, I've used it like probably 3 times.
Okay.
In my whole entire ownership.
Well, you only have 6 gears to go through. It's not like it's an 8 or a 10 speed.
Exactly. So you're not always like hitting buttons constantly.
Exactly. All right, let's see this faster steering ratio. It's so easy, so friendly.
Yeah.
Rotates nicely too.
Yep.
You've got the alignment dialed in on this car too. About, what do you have?
It's
2.5 up front?
3.5 up front.
3.5 up front?
in the back.
Okay, cool.
Which is great because like you can really power out of the corner.
That's awesome. Yeah, you get a little bit of slip and it just
Yep.
bites.
Yep.
That's perfect.
A little bit of towing in the rear, none in the front, and then kind of as much positive caster in the front as you can get with the upper bearing and the strut tower.
You get the suspension set up on these cars, the alignment dialed in, and the handling is just perfection.
Oh yeah.
It's amazing. Any reliability gotchas with these?
I mean,
are the SMGs okay if you take care of them?
If you take care of them, yes, but the parts are extremely expensive.
Okay.
So, like this car I bought with the intention of manual swapping because it's very easy to do.
Okay. Yeah, I've heard a lot of people have done it.
A ton of people have done it. I mean, all you do is just remove the SMG related stuff, add a clutch pedal, add the D10s for an H pattern, and
Okay.
you're golden. But I've actually kind of like grown to like this, so I'm just gonna wait until it stops working.
Sure.
Because they do eat through clutches, and the pumps are not the most reliable.
Gotcha.
And the pumps are really expensive, so once it goes, I'll probably just. But otherwise, I mean, yeah, the rod bearings, yeah, the subframe. There's probably a little bit of overblown stuff with that, you know, on the internet.
Sure.
But this car, like, after taking care of some of that preventatively, it has been. I have not had one problem with this car, like breaking down or anything like that. It's taken. Yeah, right.
Knock on.
But
What would be in other models wood trim?
wood trim.
Yeah.
But this thing has taken an absolute beating.
That's awesome.
Original engine burns not a drop of oil.
That's great.
Original diff is still holding in there.
Well, it's got some miles on it. It's been
Yep.
driven,
Yep.
and BMWs love to be driven.
They do.
They hate to sit, and they love revs.
Yeah, this car is very temperamental, like right after winter.
Sure.
It's really, once you get into the season, it kind of, you know, you just get it flowing, and it's drives a lot better.
It wants to be on the Autobahn.
Yes. So, yeah, these are interesting. These were peeling. So this is actually just the fabric pulled off.
The underbit, okay.
So it's a little weird texturally.
I was like, is that Alcantara?
No, it was Alcantara, but the previous owner didn't use UV resistant. So it immediately faded and it was like bleached.
Yeah, that's no fun.
I just ripped it off and painted
It
it.
took me like 20 minutes to notice it.
Yeah. So that's what I thought. I was like, now that it's actually black, you're not drawn to it as much.
Yeah, no, it's good. All right, back into some fun bits here.
Yes.
This sounds so exotic.
Yeah.
It's like half a V12 almost.
It was even crazier when I didn't have a resonator in the first section. It was a higher pitch, so it almost literally sounded like a half a Ferrari V12. It was
Yeah.
crazy.
This is insane. Do a little pull here. What's red line?
8100 in this car.
8100.
Yes.
Wow. We'll shift at 8 just to be safe. Fantastic. Yeah, it's driving cars like this. Like, this is the reason why I started a YouTube channel and I do what I do, is so you can drive a bunch of cool stuff and figure out, like, oh, you know, what flavor do you like? What's your perfect car? And it's so refreshing to get into some older stuff recently too, after driving a lot of the new BMW products, which are not as good driver cars as the old stuff. It's just, it's got to be said. So after this, shortly after this, came out, BMW came out with the E92 M3 with the V8. So this was the last 6-cylinder until recently. But
Yep.
yeah, how does this car compare to that?
The V8, that car is kind of more all about the engine.
Sure.
I think this, like the chassis and the size and the weight here, it's just more lively.
It's a little bit lighter.
A little bit lighter, a little bit smaller. More feel.
Yep.
All the inputs on the E92 just slightly a little more dull than this.
Still love the E92.
Yeah, I mean compared to the modern stuff,
Yeah.
it's obviously has way more feel and engagement.
Yeah, this feels wide. It feels like you can just kind of just attack a corner in it.
Right.
It has that square stance, and it comes through in the steering too. And
Yeah.
I got to reach really far back and remember what the last E46 was like that I drove, and it wasn't a competition with faster steering, but I remember like putting a little bit more
Yes.
turn in.
So my previous, I also had another one of these a couple years ago. It was a manual non-comp, and the steering difference is crazy
Really?
between the CSL rack and it. More feel, it's quicker. The base rack is a little more on-center dead zone.
Okay.
Whereas this has a solid coupler in the steering shaft, so.
There it is. Cool. You liked it. You just get to play the sound of your people
I know.
all day long.
Exactly.
It does shift a little faster at higher revs
It does,
too.
yeah. Yeah, and then when you go into like mode 6, it's like
Just banging.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's like a
Gives you-
Murcielago or something.
Gives you a kick.
Yeah. Taking the chiropractor.
Yeah, not faster, just less comfortable.
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah, I just drove the new M4. It was a CSL. Yeah, the M4
yeah,
CSL.
okay.
And someone commented, you left it in like the mid-transmission mode the whole time.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, again, doesn't shift any faster in that
Mhm.
mode, doesn't downshift any faster. It just kind of
Yep.
beats you up a bit more.
Yeah, it was the same thing with the DCT and E92. It was like just it didn't really. It was already really fast all the time. It's just all it did was like simulate banging gears.
Yeah. I'm experimenting with lifting between gears.
Yeah, right. You just find your rhythm.
Yeah, you do.
And it does learn like how you drive.
Okay.
So when I bought the car and I was like on my way home with it, I'm like, oh, this sucks. I just made a huge mistake. Whatever. And then I read up how to reset the adaptations
Oh,
for
cool.
the SMG.
Okay.
I did that, and like you let it learn for a couple days, and it was so much better.
Nice. I will notice that sometimes with press cars.
Yeah, I
So
bet.
I'll get something it's been in for a service. They like disconnected the battery or something.
Sure.
Shift programming's really weird.
Yeah.
By the time I'm about to do my review at the end of the week, I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, this actually isn't too bad. It got better.
Yeah, no, it's
So-
good. It's good to see.
Yeah. And mid 2000s, that's kind of when companies started to put some intelligence into the programming
Yep.
with stuff.
Exactly.
That was kind of the beginning of that. So, a neat era for enthusiast stuff. Still
Yes.
visceral, still engaging, but a little bit higher tech.
Mm-hmm.
And this is right there in that sweet spot.
Yeah, it's like modern car reliability.
Yeah.
And livability, but the old school stuff is still there. Hydraulic steering, nat braided.
Exactly. So what else have you had? A lot of BMWs, it seems like.
Yeah, and I'm ready to sway away a little bit because the new stuff just isn't doing it for me.
Yeah.
My previous daily was a Mark 7.5 GTI, so
Oh,
I had
cool.
that at the same time as this, and that was a great car. I really regret selling it.
Great daily. Yeah.
It was a great daily, but I made money on it because the car prices
Yep.
shot up, and but now I'm like, man, I really still wish I had that car because now I currently don't have a manual car in my life, so I'm kind of manual car daily driver shopping.
Okay. All right.
But yeah, and then I've had a couple of Mini Coopers.
Oh, cool.
My old track car was a R53, the supercharged Mini Cooper S with the manual.
Yeah.
that thing was a blast.
Those are so much fun.
It was so much fun.
Yeah. Front-wheel drive perfection.
Yes.
Sounds amazing.
It did sound. It was. Yeah. Everybody always like when I'd show up wherever, like even at a stoplight, because my license plate said supercharged.
Yeah.
And everybody's like, oh, like no way that thing's supercharged. You literally just rev it a little bit, and you'd hear like the line was crazy. Yeah.
I started autocrossing in high school right when those were like coming out.
Yeah.
And everyone had one, and then no one had one.
Yeah, I think they've slowly fallen off the map. Mine was really nice though. I had like a 50,000 mile like really mint one.
That's great.
But I didn't want to tear it apart.
Sure. Might do a little bit more window down action. Lovely. Yeah. And it's got the window controls in the middle, so you can take the doors off like a Jeep, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly
That's what it's for. Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
And you have the little like town and country style rear vent windows, which
just little guys.
They're little guys. I'm
That's
always
funny.
kind of scared to use them because the noise the motors make just kind of sketches me out.
Okay.
But they're there.
Well, probably no buffeting on track.
No, it's great.
Yeah.
It's,
all the new stuff buffets like crazy. It's wild.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I know the Supra has a problem with that.
You can't drive the Supra over 45 miles an hour with the windows down.
That's crazy. You'd think like somebody would have just, I don't know, driven the car with the windows down and be like, hey, this sucks.
But the fix is $100 like, deflector. It's pretty easy.
Yeah, Trackday has been great. Like the cooling system, like radiator, fan, and setup, and everything, mostly stock. It's fine.
Fun, man.
It is a lot of fun.
You ever had this out at Groton?
A lot.
Okay. It would just be so happy out there.
I just had this. Yeah, this car loves Groton. I do like two kind of somewhat. I know a bunch of guys. We rent it like twice a year.
Okay. Oh, cool.
And so I've done a lot of laps in Groton with this, and
Sweet.
it's like a couple tenths from sub 130 on 300 treadwear tires. I'm pretty proud of that, considering like the car's mostly full interior and everything.
That's amazing.
I think with a 200 treadwear set and maybe get rid of the rear seats and a couple things, I think this would do, sub 130.
That's great. I haven't been out there in ages, and I really want to take the Type R out there this summer. So we'll figure something out.
Yeah, I'll be going back out there. We're doing a day in September. So
Cool.
if you want some track time with the Type R,
Yeah, maybe I'll crash your party. That'd be sweet. I like the kind of the fisheye blind spot mirror. Is that factory?
These are the Euro mirrors.
Euro mirrors. Okay.
Yep. So
Brilliant. So
I
nice.
know.
Because it gives you enough of a field of view to see what's behind you for quite a while.
I found that like you basically don't have to really look over your shoulder, because by the time that the car is out of the mirror, you can see it like just straight to the left or right.
So yep, there it is.
Yeah,
that's perfect.
It's the only visibility qualm of this car is this rear view mirror design is kind of funky because it cuts off.
That's right. Yeah,
it's pretty small, but otherwise
it looks cool.
It does. It's M car specific. So
that's right.
Yeah.
Tiny little mirrors.
Tiny little
they
mirrors.
work. How's the sound system? Harman Kardon?
It's okay. I think this one's a little tired.
Yeah.
If you listen to a song with some more bass, it's not like there's a rear subwoofer thing in the deck, and I think it rattles.
Okay.
So either the subs are bad, or like the deck itself is kind of rattling a little bit.
I mean, people still like put their own sound systems in cars back in this era.
They did, yeah.
So
I don't know.
And even the new Harman Kardons aren't anything to really write home about.
No.
disc brake noises when you come down from the speed. It's like, yeah, that's what you want. That's awesome.
Yeah, the brakes are interesting because they used to squeak a little more. Now they kind of just have that kind of hum sound.
Okay.
It used to sound like a school bus. Didn't change the pads, just after a couple more like really heavy heat cycles, they just kind of changed.
Yeah, they bed in
tone,
and they kind of get to know each other. It's cool. You can just let off the brake.
Yes, and it doesn't go anywhere.
And it doesn't go anywhere. And it's just like a manual, but you're not operating the clutch pedal. The car's figuring it out. That's kind of cool.
It is a very interesting experience.
The SMG.
I know, right? It's
I know what the manuals from this era feel like.
Yeah.
And this is kind of better to drive in some ways. I mean,
yeah.
Yeah, those manuals have really long throws, unless if you kind of, fiddle with them a little bit, put some short throw shifters and bits and get them just right. They're good, but not great.
They're okay.
Yeah.
It's like, it's a manual. It does suit the car, but yeah, you're right. It's not like a particularly enjoyable manual transmission car to ride.
It's not like the Porsches from the era.
No.
Or,
Yeah, anything from Hondas or anything like that.
Yeah. Well, cool, man. Steven, what's your YouTube channel? Because you've got some videos up on this.
I do, yeah. It's stambor99. It's kind of random.
We'll throw a link in the description.
Yeah, I gotta make some more kind of stuff progressively on this car.
Avoid all these craters here.
I know, that's the issue. It's finest here.
Well, thanks so much for sharing your car. It's been a pleasure to drive. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. If you hadn't worn headphones, go back and rewatch it with headphones.
Absolutely.
It's gonna sound just awesome.
It's worth it.
Yep. Yeah, it's worth it just right there.
Yeah, exactly.
And the best thing about this is it just looks so much better than that thing.
I know.
BMW, what are you doing? Took your best design and ruined it. Yeah, the steering is just like a nice weight at low speeds too. It feels just very nice and hydraulic. So neutral.
Yeah.
This actually isn't far off from some of the new
modern,
BMW M shifters.
Kind of like stays.
It's over and back for reverse. Cool. Nice Omega.
Thank you.
Yeah. Both here.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah.
Love it. Yeah, when's the last time you've used a nice little key?
So
It's
satisfying.
complaining that it likes you to be in gear.
Okay, so that's like park or gear, right?
Yeah.
Just like you put in first.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Everything you need, nothing you don't.
Yeah.
I mean, you got like even stuff like rain sensing wipers.
Oh, yeah, that's nice.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Things.
Yeah. No, this is such a refined, livable car.
Yeah.
I mean, you could drive all day in this thing and it'd be perfectly fine. You'd be happy.
Yeah, especially stock. The stock seats and everything when I had my old one. It was really comfortable.
Cool. Yeah. All right. Well, E46.
There you go.
If you can find a sorted one or want to do some of the work yourself, pretty good buy these days.
Yeah,
prices
are coming back to earth a little bit. They're a little high, like
I mean
21, 2, but they're now starting to kind of level off. So I think they're resting place.
That's good. I mean, these have always had pretty decent value. They've always held pretty high values.
For a while, they were like rock bottom. You could pick one up super cheap.
Yeah.
That's also when a lot of them kind of got destroyed.
Sure.
So,
Yeah.
I think nowadays most of these are getting even if they're high mileage or whatever, most people are buying them and taking good care of them.
And the cool thing too is people know everything about these cars. It's all on the forum. It's all documented. Shops know what to do.
Yeah, a million people. Right,
yeah,
exactly.
Tons of YouTube videos.
Yeah, everything's online already, so
yeah.
There's not many secrets.
Cool. Well built, well modded. It drives awesome. And thanks again.
I'll try to do my research.
Yeah. That's it for this one, guys. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next video. Go check out Steven's channel. And yeah, maybe when you get your next manual car, we'll take that out for a rip too.
Something cool. Make it happen.
Cool. All right, guys. We'll see you later. Take care.
Huh?